wanted to just point out, I don't know, the form that I included on it is, I don't know if you looked at it, but it's not necessarily for y'all. It's more for like discount coaches who maybe are not plugged in as much, who aren't maybe on the team page or in the challenge group. That was the purpose of me including that. And here's just, I got just asked for their name, email, or phone number. And all I'm basically going to do is send them a link. And I just kind of wanted it on my radar. Who is interested in this? I'm going to send a similar email to all of my customers probably tomorrow. And I got this idea from Christina Delgado. I don't know if you recognize that name. She's one of the two sisters that are really like superstar, elite, all that stuff. But she did a call for us this week. And let me see if I can pull up. She shared those scripts with us for the email. So that's the one she sent to her coaches. This one, yeah, that's coaches. I thought she had one for customers that she sent out, but anyways, I just wanted to create something that allowed me to kind of track who's interested in it, and I wanted to get the word out quickly. So I would recommend doing this to all your customers at some point in the next few days, just kind of reminding them. I know Jeffrey's been talking to a lot of hers individually, which I think is awesome. But just for people who you might want to remind them, or people who have disengaged that, haven't been plugged into the challenge group or, the team page or anything like that, then this is just a way I wanted to do that and kind of know who was interested. So super simple form that I have there. But Jeffrey, I was telling Lindsay at the beginning of the call, I don't know yet Melissa's decision, her final decision on this, but the retreat in November, she is considering, instead of making it where you have to meet all of those original qualifications to come, she is considering just meaning that if you don't meet those qualifications, you can still come, but you pay like $50 or $75 to attend. So she has not made a final decision on that, but I wanted to go ahead and give you all the dates for it in case it's something you want to consider. And I do think it's long, and so I do think there's flexibility there if you need to come a day later or leave a day earlier. I'm probably going to leave on Saturday. So just wanted to kind of share that.
Yeah. It's the 8th through the 11th. Is that right? Okay. I know BJ qualified to be in the CG games, like the next level. I don't know what it is. So, and it's that weekend. So I might be able to do like 2 of the days.
Yeah.
And then go for that. But on your pumpkin spice form, what if we put like a part on there that asks who the coach is, and we put this on the Facebook page, like put a link to it in our.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cultivate group. Cause, and then maybe we can just all use the same form or something. Cause I have been talking to people about it, but I like the place where you can, where we can email the link, because that was the thing I realized today, is that I don't know that they can, like, I'm talking to new people about it, that anybody that has said they like pumpkin spice, I've been inviting them to try it, but I don't have a link to like share with them. So I really like the form.
Yeah. Let me add that to my to-do list, and I will post that in the challenge group. Is that where you said to post it? The challenge group? Do you think it would be beneficial to post it in the info group?
Yeah, I think so. Just as like a, hey, this is, an option if you're interested in trying Shakeology. You're not ready maybe to do the full thing. I think we would have to explain that you can't get that as a challenge pack, you know.
Right.
That was something that I had thought about, because there's no like there's no SC points for that. So as long as our coaches that are inviting people to it know that as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking of like Laura and some friends that aren't on here tonight.
Yeah.
As long as they know we're posting it, we'll have to generate links, all that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Probably what I would do is I would just notify when, in fact, let me edit this. How could I say that? Who's your personal coach? Because if these are new customers, you.
Who's your personal coach, or the person, you've been talking to, or the person who introduced you to this group, or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a good idea. So I'll just let coaches know if their name pops up on the responses. For sure. Maybe on Sunday I'll share all the results or something and make sure everyone's tagged in it. Okay. So let's move on. Did y'all have a chance to listen to the National Wake Up Call?
I got through like half of it. So I listened to her story and then I think made it to the peanut butter.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I think I stopped after peanut butter at one point and then had to go back and only got through jelly, and I was like, we got to finish the sandwich. But okay, so it's very self-explanatory. It's very very simple, and I feel like, just personally, I feel like I was doing pieces of this, and I think this is true anytime we do personal development, anytime we do training. At Summit, I felt this way, especially attending for my second year. A lot of times there's not big changes we need to make, but we'll just get a little part here and there that it's like, oh yeah, I need to tweak that. And we know what it is when we hear it. And so for me, the piece of this that really stood out, I guess it's kind of twofolded, is the peanut butter, putting more effort into that, and then the second piece of bread. I don't know that I've ever really done the second piece of bread, but I've noticed a change in the 2 days I've done this already. I also like the concept of focusing on quality versus quantity. That's what this inviting method is. It's really taking time, spending time connecting with people. And my experience doing this, Jeffrey, I know you shared today, like having to kind of adjust your motivation and check that. And I feel like when I follow this inviting method, like there's no way for my motivation to be impure. Like if I'm doing plenty of peanut butter, and if I'm making a sandwich like I would put plenty of peanut butter on there. So I love that that's the part that corresponds to this, because I think it's the part that I tend to skip over and think, well, they'll think I'm not being sincere, or, I'm just going to get to the point. And I think there's even been some coaches who have said, don't pretend to be interested, like just ask what you're going to ask. But if we're really doing the peanut butter phase correctly, I think it helps us slow down and remember this is a person, and why do I want to connect with them? Why do I want them in my challenge group? Why do I want them to consider being a coach? And it makes it more relational. And it does take more time, but I have felt like the last 2 days, my invites have been closer to 10 instead of 20. And my goal is 3 to 5 of them being this kind of invite, which I can usually do in 20 to 30 minutes, depending on, I've only done it 2 days. I think the first day it took me about 25 minutes. Today it took me 20 minutes. I can get 3 to 5 of these PB&Js in. And then I go to my follow-ups, and other invites naturally come out of those follow-ups. And so I've been still doing about 10 invites a day in my power hour. And I feel so fulfilled at the end of it. Like, I feel like I'm sending quality messages. I don't feel like I'm doing a ton of copying and pasting. It does take more time, but I just feel like it feels right. And that's one thing that I heard recently in one of the videos that I updated for the new Coach Basics training. It's the one on inviting from Brittany Leggett Schumerd, or I may be getting those two names backwards, but she basically says there are a million different ways to invite, and part of your job as a coach is to find the way that just makes you excited, that you feel great about. If you feel icky doing an invite a certain way, it's not your way. Like, you need to find what feels natural to you. And so that's what I'm loving so far about this. And so the first piece of bread, just to kind of go over it, is you thank the person for whatever engagement has happened. So maybe they followed you back, maybe they've liked something or watched something. So it does require you checking, a little more frequently who's watched your post. But then the peanut butter is complimenting them. And in order to do this, you have to have done some research on them. So especially if this is someone new, or even if it's someone that you already know, like, you need to have spent some time on their page, in their feed, seeing what they're up to, just kind of figuring out, why do I want to connect to this person? And if you have a hard time, they may not be someone you want to connect with. So it takes a little bit of time, but it seems very worthwhile. So, just complimenting them, and then the jelly is the invite. And so, that's where the script that I normally use by itself, that's become my jelly. And so my first piece of bread and my peanut butter in an Instagram message are generally one message. And then at the end of that message, I will say, hey, I know this may seem random, but because we seem to have some things in common, because we seem to be like-minded, or because we seem to have similar values and beliefs, I just want to ask. And then I'll go into my regular invite, which is, I know I've shared this with y'all before, but which is, I help lead a support and accountability group. It's this part right here of people who are trying to follow. It's basically telling them exactly, like, it gives them a good picture of why I think they would want to join my group. If they're really my avatar, they're going to care about these things. They're going to care about tools that focus on progress, tools that are motivated by spiritual obedience and stewardship. And so then I just end it with, does any of that sound like something you'd be interested in? Send that message. Then I do the second piece of bread. And I think this has been the game changer for me, and has even changed. I feel like where previously I was getting a lot of non-responses, just like the ghosting, I feel like now I get a response. Even if it's a no, it's a totally different tone, I feel like, and response from them. Because then that second piece of bread, I'll say, if not, no worries, or no pressure, no worries. I just wanted to ask. I would still love for us to follow each other. I can always use, or I always enjoy having other encouraging moms in my newsfeed, or whatever the point is that we've connected on. I'll compliment. So it's almost like I'm ending with another compliment. Like, here's why I still want you in my feed. Here's why I still want us to stay connected, even if you're not interested in this. And so I've had 2 people respond to me. To the 5 that I sent yesterday, 2 people responded, and they were like, you are so kind. You're so sweet to say that. This isn't something I'm interested in right now, but I absolutely want to stay in touch with you and, continue supporting what you're doing. I think it's great. Like, it's just very genuine. Like, they can tell I'm genuine. I can tell that they're genuinely flattered or complimented or encouraged by what I said. And so it's just that is success. I think they haven't said yes, but I think it's, you're building trust and you're building a relationship. And then kind of what she gives examples here, and this is on the team drive. I can post it on the team page, just so that you have the direct link to it. But basically, she said she does that Monday through Friday. She does 3 to 5 invites. And she even said, if you have time for one of these invites a day, just do one. Like, start somewhere. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do what works for you. And so you do however many a day, Monday through Friday. And on Saturday, you do the 5-3-1 method to each of those people who have maybe not responded or who have told you no. And so the intention behind that is that you're showing them, I still care about you. I'm still wanting to follow you. I didn't just say that. I'm still wanting to keep up with you and stay connected. And you're doing that by continuing to engage them on their post. So I don't know. She did not specify how many times she repeats that. But I think if you do, I mean, this has been my experience. I think it's just how the algorithms of Instagram and Facebook work. If you do 5-3-1 on someone, the 5 likes, the 3 comments, the 1 message or follow, if you do that, the Instagram's going to put them in your feed more often. And so then when you do have just scroll time in the future, you're probably going to see their post. Or when they come up in My Connection Builder, or whatever follow-up system you have, maybe your connection with them is not to direct message them, but to do 5-3-1 to engage their post. Like, maybe that's what your follow-up looks like for several weeks, in the future. So that is more or less the method she talked about. And I mean, she gave examples, but it was not hard for me to tweak it to make each of these steps sound like me and fit me, and kind of even put some scripts that I already have in there, mainly the jelly. But I think that the crucial part that I've left out in the past is the peanut butter and the second piece of bread. And so that's really, those were my biggest takeaways from it. So go ahead.
Are you using this like just for coaches, or are you using it for everything?
Either. She said the way she judges if it's going to be a coach invite or a customer invite is if they're active on their social media. If they post frequently, she goes ahead and invites them to coaching. If they maybe don't, then she starts with a challenge group. She said she got that from other top leaders, just very basic, very simple, like, don't overthink it. If they're active on social media, just go ahead and invite them to coaching. They're probably going to start regardless as a challenger, even if they have that coach discount, but you never know. You might get people who are ready to start as a coach.
I liked I just listened to it today, so this is helpful because I'm still trying to process it. But I liked that the peanut butter part is part of the same message, because I've struggled with that in the past, feeling like I'm not being genuine if I am, because I'm not maybe I need to work on complimenting people just in general, but that's not something that is a natural part of, and when people send me messages like that, I if they say something nice and I don't know them in real life, then I throw guards up because I think that they're just trying to get to me or something. But it feels a lot better this way, because whenever I was doing that before, it was I would just message them about whatever the compliment was or whatever I thought we had in common and wouldn't mention anything else. And so then I felt like I was being dishonest. I never wanted to bring it up later on because I don't know, I had trouble finding natural ways to flow into that. Because not much of my life was related to fitness or that kind of stuff. So it wasn't something that I was naturally connecting to people about. But I like it a lot better being all in one message. So I'm doing the beneficial part of being nice to people and I do want to compliment them and I do want to connect with them about something, but I also don't feel like I'm hiding I have an agenda. It's still
Right.
it still gets to do the part that I like and have been doing of asking them up front and hopefully like wording that in a way that sounds genuine. But so I liked that it's like all art.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's key in the peanut butter section is to end it with a question, like that you genuinely want to know the answer to. And so I'm pulling up some of the ones I've done. One I sent today. Now this is a little different because this girl, I've met her in the last few months. She's now attending our church. She is singing with Nick, doing background vocals. So I've slowly gotten to know her. It's probably been 2 weeks ago that I added her on social media and started following her stuff. And I know we're like-minded. Like, you know, it's not that I had to identify that, but a couple of days ago, she posted a picture of what appears to be, like, the caption was real kind of cryptic, but it appears to be a cake that she made, and it almost looks like she's about to start a business of, like, a side job of making cakes for, like, weddings and stuff. And so I just said, hey, just wanted to say thank you so much for viewing my stories recently, because I just saw that she was viewing them today. That's always so encouraging to me on my journey. How's your week been? Based on your last post, do you make cakes? Because that one is amazing. And then I said, so this may be random, but I just wanted to ask, since I know we are like-minded and have similar beliefs and values. So notice there I didn't say, it seems like we're like-minded. You know, like I want to communicate accurately. I know with her, like we are, like we're, you know, in the same local church community together. And so then I went into my script, and then I ended it with, if not, no worries. I just enjoy having fun friends in the group, but no pressure whatsoever. And then I did the heart emoji. So that's one example that I sent. Let me try to find another one that was someone I don't think I'd ever talked to before.
I keep forgetting where the mute button is. I'm like, I have a question. And then anyways, was that all one message?
It was 3.
It was 3 messages.
I put
like,
the
and
first
she responded in between?
No.
No.
I sent them all at once. The first message is the first piece of bread and the peanut butter. And I intro to the jelly. So I say, hey, this is random, but I wanted to ask
Yeah.
of this. That's all the first message. The second message is the jelly alone. And then the third message is the second piece of bread.
Okay.
So the first and the second one are pretty big. The third one is pretty short.
Okay.
Sorry, bear with me. I want y'all to I want to read one of these to y'all. I can find it. We can still talk though, if y'all have questions or thoughts.
The systems part of my brain, like, I have a love-hate relationship.
With what?
With like just the whole this is way better, but I also like it's not a formula, which is what I need. Like that's a good thing, but and I also like one thing that I kind of as I was listening to the wake up call today, I kind of was like felt like I could take a deep breath that because like I can do this with 3 to 5 people. I've been struggling with I've kind of realized today like I think part of the reason I've been struggling with keeping up with all of these conversations, just like the volume of stuff, is because I'm trying because I don't want to just know them on a surface level. Like that's not how I want to be in life or in my business. But I do not have the capacity to get to know 15 new people and add to that each day. Like maybe at some point I will, but right now, like the amount of energy, emotional energy and capacity that I have, like I just can't do it. And so I think that's part of what has felt so overwhelming is because I'm like wanting to do this and know something about them and like really get to know them, but also on the other side of my brain is like, but you got to get through these and you got like, 40 other messages you have to answer, so you can't spend too much time on this one. So I think that kind of I need to try that instead of focusing on it.
So Jamie, you're not inviting 12 people now. You're inviting 5, 3 to 5.
With this method, I've spent 20 to 30 minutes shooting for 3 to 5. So yesterday, I've only done it 2 days, but yesterday I spent 25 minutes getting 5. And then I spent 20 minutes today getting 5. And then I moved to my follow-ups. And so invites sometimes naturally come out of those follow-ups. So I've been averaging about 10 invites a day instead of the 20 that I was doing. But I think that's why it feels more manageable, and it feels like the conversations I'm having are more worthwhile, more fulfilling, because it's not, let me just mass invite as many as I can. And that's something Melanie Metro said recently, like, you can meet the numbers, you can meet the quota, but if they're not sincere messages, if they're too cold of an invite, it doesn't matter how many of them you do because you're not going to see any fruit from that. And that's what I've been experiencing, because you look at July, I had the high invites, I had the high SC points. You look at August, I had the high invites, I did not have the high SC points. And I think it's because I'd gone too much toward the, let's just get these out, and had skipped a lot of the trust building process. But I love the point you made, Lindsay. And I think that's why I love this so much, is it's all together. Like you're thanking them, you're complimenting them, you're engaging them and building that relationship, and you're getting to the point of something that you're passionate about and you want to share with them. And if they're not wanting to be interested in it right now, that's fine. You're letting them know. I would still like to follow you. Like, I'm not just wanting to unfollow you as soon as you tell me no, which is what a lot of network marketers do. As soon as they figure out that you're not going to follow them back or that you're not interested, they move on. Like, they don't continue building that relationship. And that's what's different about what our business is advocating.
I really like that, because like I invited a student minister today that I want to be her best friend. Like, we seem to have we just seem to be really so like-minded that I invited her to start working out today, but she hasn't responded. And so now I've been going through, I think that's why I was feeling icky, like, oh my gosh, did I not do something right, or, whatever. And so just remembering, or I really like the 531 on Saturday, that I want to show Carly that I'm not just asking, I didn't follow her just to get to this. I followed her because I think she has great ideas on student ministry. She's a girl in student ministry. That's kind of a big deal, So I really like the following up and continuing the relationship on, with intention on Saturday. I like that a lot. And I think even this is more what I would naturally be doing anyways. Even in June or July, I wasn't able to get the big numbers. 12 was my most in a day, or, and most recently, the other day I asked 17 because of the pumpkin spice thing. It's not even big deal, And so I like that this is building a relationship, and it's something I don't have to shoot for 50 people, which is impossible. Not impossible. Obviously people are doing it, but more who I am, who I want to be.
Right. And it's encouraging to me when I hear from successful coaches who say, it's okay to be that kind of coach. It's okay to have lower Success Club numbers, still be in Success Club, but it's okay to have 5 to 20 I mean, I've seen sometimes Stephanie Richardson, Melissa's, amazing coach, like some months she has SC6, like she has a thriving business and she's an organizational leader, like she's elite almost every year, but like it's okay not to have those high numbers. And what I loved about this girl was, I guess you both heard like through her story, and kind of she had crazy, beginning part of the year, and with the 2 miscarriages, and then she needed something to get her back on track that wasn't high numbers, that wasn't overwhelming. And I've never heard someone say this, but I believe it. I've never known like the hard and fast numbers, but because she's been in the business so long, and because she's reached superstar diamond 15 stars, I think she knows this. And I don't know if you got to this part or not, Jeffrey, it might have been at the end. This business has a 60 to 90 day delay. And so what that means is what you're doing today, you will likely not see the fruit of it until 60 to 90 days from now. And we've talked about that. Like we know, especially like Jeffrey, I know you've shared recently coming on your 1 year mark, like you have, you've seen people that you invited a year ago, say yes. So sometimes it's longer, but I love that she shared that on the call and said she can say with confidence, she's done this 3 to 5 for the last 60 to 90 days, and it is working. It is working for her on a level that she needs it to be as a superstar diamond coach who had dropped down to 7-star and is working to get back to 15. Like this is working because it's quality over quantity. Like that was so encouraging for me to hear, so I think that's a good takeaway. If we'll spend time on the peanut butter, and maybe, if you need to reward yourself at the end of the peanut butter stage by giving yourself some peanut butter, do it. Like we can get as creative as we want with this, but I think that's the key piece is the peanut butter and the follow up, on the weekends or whenever you want to do your 5-3-1.
Just to clarify, was she saying that so you go through everyone you've invited that previous week, that like only the people that said no or didn't respond, or just everyone, and you do 5-3-1 on each of them?
She said the people who have told her no, because I guess the people who haven't responded.
Well, if they say yes, then you're like still talking to them already.
Right. You're still talking to them, and you're naturally going to be engaging with them, I think, and getting to know them. But the people that say no or that don't respond, you're showing them I still care about you, even though like I want you to know I was sincere in this. It's not just okay, I'm gonna unfollow you now. So it's essentially, I guess, if you're doing 3 to 5 a day, it's 15 to 20, 25. I can't do math. 15 to 25 that you're doing on the weekend. But it's probably going to be less than that, depending on how people have responded.
Right.
Well, and that's something that's easy. It's like we're natural, or I am already on social media anyway. So to focus on those people, it would not be a stretch.
And so like what I did was I just, in the notes section of my phone, I just created this PB&J, and I have the people 5 each day, Thursday or Wednesday and Thursday that I did. And so on Saturday, I'll just pull that up and I'll go, comment, engage their stuff. And some days there may not be anything to engage because maybe I've engaged it all already and they're not super active. And so they haven't posted anything, but, you just do what you can. I was going to read y'all this other message. So this was somebody I've never spoken to before, ever. I'm guessing we got connected through a homeschooling hashtag a long time ago. But I saw that she viewed my stories, and so I spent time gathering the peanut butter, and then I messaged her and I said, "Hi, Heidi. I wanted to thank you for viewing my stories recently. That's always so encouraging to me. I noticed you're a boy mom too. So fun. I have 2 boys and we are expecting a 3rd child, but waiting until delivery to find out the gender. What are the ages of your kids?" So I have no idea if you'd be interested or not, but I wanted to ask because it seems like we have similar values and beliefs and are in similar stages of life. And I've already been liking and commenting on her photos that specifically have told me that we have similar beliefs and values. So it shows, like, I'm not just guessing in the dark here. Like, I've actually looked at your post and seen these things. So sometimes I do the 531 before I send this because I kind of have to get the peanut butter, you know, to get to know if there's someone I even want to send this invitation to. So then at the end, I said, if not, no pressure, just wanted to ask. Regardless, I hope we can continue to follow each other's journeys. I love having other inspiring moms in my feed. And she immediately responded and said, "Oh, thank you so much for all your kind words and for inviting me to this group. I will need to pass for now as I have a lot of commitments at the moment, but I would love to still follow your journey and keep in touch over social media. My boys are 7, 6, and 3. And so I continued the conversation. I said, "Okay, I understand. And thank you. Of course, we can keep in touch. I could glean wisdom from you, I'm sure." She's like a very active homeschooling mom. And I said, "My boys are almost 6 and 4. And she responded with a heart. So the conversation has stopped for now. But you better believe I'm going to continue following her because she seems like someone I would enjoy being friends with and enjoy following. So that's just that was one example of someone I know in real life and one that I've never talked to before. But any more thoughts, questions? We've got about 4 minutes left.